I'm here at the Beatrice Inn with my good friend and Eat to Consume host, Kat Odell, and we're going to try Angie Mar's 120-day whiskey dry-aged steak. I would say this is your signature dish.
I definitely think so.
This looks like a large dry-aged rib section.
It's a lot more than that.
All right, so tell us all about this.
We've actually aged this in whiskey. This is a technique that I picked up in Paris from a butcher by the name of Yves Marie Le Bourdignac. He actually cooked me a steak, and it was kind of like the steak that changed my life. And that's how I really fell in love with dry-aged beef. We've aged this one in Jack Daniels, and this today is about 127 days old.
Are there a number of days that you'd want to stop at?
I would love to age something 200 days. I think it would be delicious. Around 160 days, that's kind of like the sweet spot for this.
So tell me how you actually whiskey age it. What does that actually entail?
We wrap this in cloths that are saturated with whiskey. It actually absorbs the whiskey. We actually tend to lose less mass.
You're still expelling.
We're still expelling moisture.
So it is drying, and it is curing, and it's dry aging.
Absolutely.
You can see that there is mold on this, right?
Yes. If you were to actually compare, a steak of this size that is this old, it would be a lot smaller. It would probably be about 10 to 15% smaller.
Tell us how you're going to actually prepare this.
We are going to be trimming all of this off. We'll actually render this fat down, and it will go into potatoes or vegetables. I think, if we're going to eat vegetables, we might as well cook them in dry-aged beef fat, right? With this technique, you get a little bit of that whiskey flavor without the bite of the alcohol.
Here we have the whiskey-aged steak.
The sense of the dry-aged beef, this sort of sweet, funky smell just emanates. It's such a powerful aroma in the best possible way.
Right.
It's almost hard to describe because it's not really a scent that you find all that often.
It's not even a scent you find in steakhouses because the flavor of this, it's a magnitude sweeter than most dry-aged beef. So you're getting those blue cheesy, funky, stilky notes, but there's ethereal, vanilla-y flavor above that, right? I think let's just start with the
everything,
meat. Right.
Yes.
And let's just eat everything. If you can see this, we have the two muscles. We have the eye, and then we have the cap right here.
So tell me about this piece of meat.
So this is my favorite muscle on the whole
Why?
steak. It's very fibrous.
Yes.
But it's also very tender, and because of the dry aging process, it gets just hit with those funky. I mean, you can smell that. It's pure mold.
In the best possible way. I would say that this is hands down, no questions, best piece of meat I've had in New York, without doubt.
That's quite a statement. Wow.
That tastes like magic. It's sort of gamey, but it's much deeper in flavor.
Exactly, and it's rounded off with that vanilla-y kind of, there's an oakiness there too, right? Wow.
So what's interesting about the way that umami forms in a piece of meat like this is the flesh breaks down once the animal is dead and amino acids form, and one of the components of those amino acids is glutamate, which is actually the same compound that's in MSG, for example.
Right, and that's what they extracted to heighten flavor.
Right.
But this is a very
natural form of it. So I've been really wanting to do this.
Okay, I don't even know if this is legal in every state, but we're in New York and it's perfectly permissible.
So delicious.
Well, I have to say, this is one of the epic steaks of my life, for sure.
It's a very, very special piece of meat, I have to say. There's nothing like this in New York.
No, totally unique. Chin chin. Thanks very much for watching. You can catch Kat Odell on Consumed, and you can catch me on The Meat Show. Also has its limits. It's a process, and that process will have peaks and valleys in terms of sourness.